Hello everyone, welcome to DEEPSIGHT. Today we continue our journey to ancient civilization to the last stop of the Mongolian chapter. In the previous article, we talked about how the Mongolian Empire reached the pinnacle stage of history. In this issue, let's focus on introducing to you the history of the decline and fall of the Mongol Empire, which spanned the world for hundreds of years and established an unprecedented territory. As a great empire founded by Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire spanned the two continents of Europe and Asia in a few decades. Its splendor and expansion were unprecedented in speed and scale. However, after the death of Genghis Khan after he attacked and destroyed Xixia, the Mongol Empire quickly split and eventually evolved into the Yuan Dynasty and four khanates. Let's dive into the process and the reasons behind it. Ojedai Khan. After the death of Genghis Khan, his third son Ojedai succeeded to the throne. However, it took 3 years of struggle for Ojedai to ascend to power. He first destroyed the Jin kingdom, then attacked the Song dynasty and incorporated the north into the territory of the Mongol Empire. Gayik Khan. After Ojedai's death, the throne of Khan was passed to his eldest son Gayik. However, Guyu died only 2 years after he ascended the throne. After Guyeo's death, the throne fell into the hands of Möngke, the son of Tori, the fourth son of Genghis Khan. From then on, the throne of the great Khan of Mongolia fell into the hands of Tor's line, Möngke Khan. Möngke reigned for 8 years, but he had not chosen a successor when he died. The Mongolian nobles finally selected their successor. However, Kublai Khan, Toliai's second son, did not admit it, and a conflict broke out between the two sides. In the end, Kublai Khan won, but the Mongol Empire also began to split. The Great Mongol Empire was divided into 5 countries: the Yuan Empire, the Ojedai Khanate, the Chagatai Khanate, the Kipchak Khanate, and the Il Khanate. The rapid rise of the Mongol Empire resulted in fragile internal connections. During the expansion process, the Mongol Khanate's land increased rapidly, which had an impact on blood ties. The Mongol Empire's ruling method relied on blood, but as it expanded, this model was difficult to maintain. Cultural differences among the Khanates in various regions intensified, and religious and economic conflicts were inevitable. During the Mongol Khan period, foreign conquests were more like tribal migration, making it difficult to control local forces. The Mongol Empire eventually split, and the Yuan Dynasty and the 4 great khanates emerged. The Yuan Dynasty was established by Kublai Khan. Its territory included today's China, Mongolia, the Korean Peninsula, Tibet, Myanmar, Vietnam, and other places, with an area of approximately 9.6 million square kilometers and a population of approximately 60 million. The Yuan Dynasty survived for less than 100 years. In 1368, he was overthrown by the Ming Dynasty. Emperor Shun of the Yuan Dynasty fled north, ending the Yuan Dynasty's rule in China. The territory of the Chagatai Khanate includes today's Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and other parts of Central Asia. With an area of approximately 9 million square kilometers and a population of approximately 10 million, it existed the longest among all Mongolian branches. Although its scale continued to shrink from its peak, it did not die until 1680. The territory of the Ilkhanate includes today's West Asia and Central Asia and Central Europe, including Iran, Iraq, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon, Palestine, Israel, Egypt, and other places. With an area of approximately 3.5 million square kilometers and a population of approximately 20 million, the Ilkhanate split into several small states in 1335 and was eventually destroyed by the Timurid Empire. The Timur Empire, 1370 to 1507, was an empire established in 1370 by the Turkic noble Timur. Timur was born in 1336 in the Shirshur region near Samarkand. After more than 30 years of conquest wars, he established a huge empire from Delhi to Damascus, from the Aral Sea to the Persian Gulf. The basis of Timur's rule was based on the code of Genghis Khan, Turkish origin, law, and Sharia. Its capital was initially located in Balid, and later moved to Samarkand and Herat. At its peak, the Timurid Empire spanned Central Asia, West Asia, and South Asia, stretching from North India in the east to the Euphrates River in the west, the Arabian Sea and the Persian Gulf in the south, and the Caspian Sea and the Aral Sea in the north. It successively annexed the Western Chagatai Khanate, defeated the Eastern Chagatai Khanate, annexed the Ilkhanate, defeated the Kipchak Khanate, and captured the Sultan of the Ottoman Turkish Empire alive. In addition, Timurid's empire also planned to conquer the Ming Dynasty. In the later period of the Timurid Empire, the Ming Dynasty maintained long-term exchanges of envoys, economic trade, and cultural exchanges. The Timurid Empire was not directly an extension of the Mongol Empire, but it was certainly related to it. It inherited the ruling model of the Mongol Empire, including the absorption of the culture, legal, and administrative systems of the conquered lands. He also continued to use the Mongol Empire's political and military strategies. Although the Timurid Empire continued the traditions of the Mongol Empire to some extent, it also developed its own unique characteristics. The culture, religion, and art of the Timur Empire showed stronger Persian and Islamic influences. Among the four major khanates, the territory of the Golden Horde includes today's Central and South Asia, such as Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, and other places, with an area of about 3 million square kilometers and a population of about 30 million. The decline of the Golden Horde can be traced back to the mid-14th century, especially after the rise of the Turpan Khanate. The Turpan Khanate was a regime descended from the Mongol Empire. Its founder, Temujin, was a noble from the Golden Horde. The Turpan Khanate rose rapidly and gradually replaced the Golden Horde's dominant position in Central Asia, while the Golden Horde gradually declined. Another important reason for the decline of the Golden Horde was the economic and financial problems its rulers encountered. The Golden Horde spent a lot of wealth and resources in its conquests, causing its domestic economy and finances to suffer heavy losses. Although the glorious period of the Golden Horde had a profound impact on Eurasia, in the end in 1502, the Crimean Khanate replaced the Golden Horde and declared its demise. If the total number of these khanates is calculated, the territory of the Mongol Empire at its peak exceeded 40 million square kilometers, with a regional population of approximately 120 million, making it the most extensive empire in world history. The rise and fall of the Mongol Empire was complex and tortuous. The prosperity of the Mongol Empire mainly benefited from the following aspects. First, the Mongolians are very brave and tenacious. They can survive and fight in difficult environments and have a strong desire to conquer and a sense of honor. Second, the Mongols value unity and loyalty. They abide by the laws and disciplines established by Genghis Khan, obey the orders of the Great Khan, and fight together regardless of tribe or clan. The third is the wisdom and innovation of the Mongols, especially their ability to use and improve various military and political technologies and systems, such as gunpowder, artillery, couriers, postal services, taxation, currency, courts, bureaucracy, etc., which improved the efficiency and effectiveness of the empire. So why was it difficult for the Mongol Empire to maintain their glorious record? Let's first analyze the economic, cultural, military, and religious situation of the Mongol Empire. The economy of the Mongolian Empire in the early days was mainly based on nomadism, and war became its means of plunder and expansion. The Mongols made a living by herding cattle, sheep, horses, camels, etc., and made fur, dairy products, meat, etc. as their wealth. Horses, camels, etc. were used as means of transportation, and gold, silver, jewelry, silk, etc. were used as luxuries. Through continuous conquest and expansion, the Mongols acquired a large amount of population, land, resources, and wealth, and established a huge economic system, including agriculture, industry, commerce, handicrafts, finance, and other fields. The Mongols have both positive and negative impacts on the economic development of various places, but how to maintain such huge results requires superb governance capabilities, which the Mongols do not have enough experience in. The culture of the Mongol Empire was diverse and integrated. The culture of the Mongols mainly reflects their nomadic life and history of conquest, such as Secret History of the Mongols, Code of the Yuan Dynasty, Dazasa, etc. These are important historical and legal documents of the Mongols. It records the origins, legends, systems, wars, achievements, etc. of the Mongols. Mongolians also have some distinctive cultural forms, which are Mongolian daily life and entertainment methods, reflecting the Mongolian spirit and style. After conquering various places, the Mongols also absorbed cultures from various places, such as Chinese, Tibetan, Persian, Arabic, etc. These are the languages and writings used by the Mongols to manage and communicate, and they are also tools for Mongolian learning and dissemination. The Mongolians also learned knowledge in various fields such as science, technology, art, and philosophy from various places, such as gunpowder, artillery, compasses, printing, Buddhism, Islam, etc. These are the cultural wealth of the Mongolians and their contribution to the world. Cultural contribution. However, the contradictions and conflicts between these new cultures and the inherent culture of Mongolia are inevitable, and integration is also difficult, which leads to local resistance and resistance to Mongolian rule. The huge territory meant that Mongolia was unable to organize manpower, material, and financial resources to effectively rule each place in the occupied areas, so occupation and conquest did not mean that it could be managed and maintained. The military advantages of the Mongols mainly lie in the following aspects. First, the Mongolian military organization. They implemented a 1,000-household system that integrated military and political affairs. The system of one flag for one man and one army for 10,000 people formed a strict hierarchy and command system, which enabled the army to quickly assemble and mobilize to execute the orders of the Great Khan. Secondly, the Mongols adopted a flexible military strategy. The methods of attack and defense flexibly changed formations and tactics according to the enemy's situation and terrain, such as false retreat, encirclement, division, detour, flanking attack, surprise attack, etc., making it difficult for the enemy to resist. Thirdly, the Mongols used various military equipment, a variety of advanced and effective weapons and instruments, such as bows and arrows, swords, axes, armor, gunpowder, artillery, trebuchets, ladders, battering rams, etc., enable them to exert their power on different battlefields. Fourth, the military quality of the Mongols. They have been accustomed to horseback riding and archery since childhood, have superb equestrian and archery skills, and can perform various actions in shooting on horseback. They also often conduct military training and exercises, which improves their combat effectiveness and collaboration capabilities. However, such a demographic structure has also led to a serious mismatch between Mongolia's economic and military capabilities. Human energy is limited, and it is impossible for men to fight and farm. Therefore, plunder is the main means of maintaining resources. There is no problem at the war stage, but there is no way at the stage of governing the country. Killing a large number of people in the northern occupied areas can of course effectively prevent short-term resistance and revenge, but it cannot effectively solve hatred and the productivity level caused by the sudden decrease in the labor force. If the same plundering methods are used to occupy the occupied areas, it will be impossible to appease the people. This is the root of the Mongol Empire's hugeness and vulnerability. The size of the Mongol Empire's armies varied at different times. According to the records in the secret history of Mongolia, after Genghis Khan unified the Mongolian tribes in 1206, his army at this time was approximately 95,000. By the middle of the 13th century, when Möngke Khan attacked the southern Song dynasty, the Mongol army had increased to 900,000 households. At the same time, the Ilkhanate and the Golden Horde had 220,000 and 430,000 households respectively. However, this data may not be completely accurate, because in the cold weapon era, the size of the army is often difficult to accurately calculate. In total, the size of the Mongol Empire's comprehensive army of men may have reached hundreds of thousands or even millions at its peak. To support such a large-scale army, the daily consumption of economic resources is unimaginable. Therefore, when the Yuan Dynasty occupied China, it was unable to fully integrate into the local culture and allowed local people to participate deeply in governance, which for example led to a series of collapses. Finally, let's talk about the influence of religion. Mongolians have some ancestor worship and totem worship. They believe in shamanism and believe that they are descendants of wolves and deer. They regard wolves and deer as their totems and believe that they have the bravery of wolves and the dexterity of deer. After conquering various places, the Mongols also came into contact with and accepted religious beliefs from various places, such as Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, Taoism, Confucianism, etc. These religions have more complete systems from all aspects. Although the Mongols have a respectful and tolerant attitude towards these religions, they do not force their subjects to change their beliefs, nor interfere with their religious activities. They even sponsor and protect some religious buildings and people. However, the Mongols tried to integrate and reform religions. For example, Kublai Khan of the Yuan Dynasty promoted a religion called Great Unified Religion, trying to blend the essence of various religions together to form a religion suitable for the empire. Did not succeed. The so-called prosperity and decline behind the glory is often accompanied by greater worries. This is the truth. Seeing him building tall buildings, seeing him entertaining guests, seeing his building collapse. In fact, when the founding emperor of the Ming Dynasty eliminated all his opponents, he went north to destroy the Yuan Dynasty. By that time, the super army of the Yuan Empire that once swept the world had long since decayed in decades of debauchery and could not even organize a decent battle, not to mention the generals who could no longer even wear heavy armor. He was able to pick up a big sword and ride on a war horse to gallop through the central plains. In terms of the ability to govern the country and integrate into culture, there is a huge gap between the Mongolian Empire and the Manchu Qing dynasty, which also came to power. As a glorious representative of the post-Genghis Khan era, the reasons for the decline in combat effectiveness of the Mongolian army at the end of the Yuan Dynasty are multifaceted. Internal divisions and struggles. At the end of the Yuan Dynasty, there was a serious state of internal warlord separatism, with constant struggles for power and internal strife. This resulted in the elite Yuan army being depleted in constant internal fighting, and the remaining combat effectiveness became weak. Corruption and poor military readiness. The Yuan Dynasty had serious internal bureaucratic corruption and poor military readiness, which significantly reduced the army's combat effectiveness. This gave the Ming army an advantage when facing the Mongolian cavalry. Sinicization and corruption within Mongolia. After the Mongolian soldiers entered the Central Plains, they became arrogant and licentious. They went from living in yurts, sleeping in yurts, grazing and eating meat, to having houses, land, fine clothes, and fine food. Who was still willing to go to the playground to practice wielding swords every day, and gradually lost their combat effectiveness. At the same time, after the rule of the Yuan Dynasty became stable, in order to prevent the resistance of the Han people, a ban on military force was issued, which reduced the proportion of the Han army and further weakened the strength of the army. In short, the decline of the Mongol Empire was mainly due to the following aspects. First of all, the Mongol Empire was composed of multiple tribes and lacked a strong centralized authority. This temporary alliance makes it difficult for the unity to operate sustainably. As the empire expanded, contradictions and conflicts among the various great khanates intensified, leading to multiple civil wars and divisions, weakening the empire's strength and cohesion. Secondly, the external hostility and resistance of the Mongols was extremely serious. With the expansion of the empire, conquered people and neighboring countries everywhere were dissatisfied and angry with the tyranny and oppression of the Mongols, and they revolted and fought back one after another, which brought huge consequences to the empire, losses and crises. Finally, ancient Mongolia had a low level of civilization and limited technology and production levels, making it difficult to achieve timely transmission of messages and absolute central control over a vast area. Also, with the expansion of the empire, the Mongols gradually gave up their nomadic lifestyle and traditional beliefs, and accepted farming cultures and religious beliefs from various places, such as Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, etc., leading to confusion in the Mongolian identity and values, and loss. In short, the Mongol Empire's short existence and decline were due to its lack of complete ability to govern the country. It is easy to destroy a country, but it is difficult to maintain this ability with limited manpower to govern such a vast area. Military strength does not match the level of civilization. Today's Mongolia is an independent country located in Central Asia, bordering Russia to the north and China to the south. It covers an area of approximately 1.56 million square kilometers and has a population of approximately 3 million, of which 94% are Mongolian and other ethnic minorities include Kazakhs. The official language is Mongolian, using traditional Mongolian and Cyrillic. The official religion is Tibetan Buddhism. The political system is a parliamentary republic, and the capital is Ulaanbaatar. Let us finally summarize the impact of the Mongol Empire on the process of world civilization. Mongolia is the peak representative of ancient nomadic civilization. The Mongolian conquests occupied a huge territory, but they had limited impact on various aspects of culture, art, science, and religion in the course of civilization. Its conquest of the world is also regarded by a large number of historians as one of the darkest periods in the history of world civilization. First, the Mongol Empire's conquest resulted in the death of large numbers of people and the destruction of civilization. Some extreme measures used by their army during the conquest process led to the disappearance of a large number of soldiers, civilians, and even races and civilizations in the conquered areas. These wars caused widespread destruction, many cities were destroyed, and cultural heritage was erased. Instead of being carried forward, the civilization accumulated over thousands of years suffered a lot of regression. Additionally, Genghis Khan and his successors exercised relatively harsh rule over the areas they conquered. In order to frighten the people in the conquered areas, they used tough tactics. After the rebellious countries and cities were captured, they would often massacre, burn, force move, and torture. They also used various inequalities in the occupied areas. System to maintain dominance. This method of rule had a profound impact on the people of the conquered areas and their descendants. It also directly triggered the rebellion and the collapse of the Mongol Empire. Although the Mongol Empire was a great success in military and political terms from a popular perspective, this period of history was a period full of violence, destruction, and humanitarian disasters. The short history of the Mongol Empire also verified the true significance of civilization in human history. Human civilization is not only about the vast territory of an empire, the large population, the power of science and technology, and the strength of the country. The value of civilization lies in how it can bring a better life to mankind, create a harmonious society, and create permanent peace and prosperity and communion. The progress of civilization should promote understanding, respect, and cooperation among human beings, not lead to war, oppression, or destruction. Civilization allows all mankind to work together to create a better and more splendid world through culture, science, art, and education. This is our content in this issue. You are welcome to leave a message and subscribe, communicate and discuss together, learn and make progress together, pursue the truth of history, and foresee a bright future. Thank you for watching. See you next time.